Good evening. Welcome to the Big Down. I'm back up here. Took a little break for a little bit. You know, had to get back to you. Let's see what was going on with my man Lou. With Louis J. My man, he looked out for me. He was we had a great time cutting it up. I hope y'all would check it out. He put it on Sunday. Brothers Talk. You know, um, let's talk about it with Lou J. Go check him out. He's positive brother. He has a lot going on. He helped me out. We just paying it forward, and we did probably get the opportunity to do something, and somebody else I can help out. I'll pay it forward to them. It's all about helping each other out. So I'll give a shout out for him for this weekend, man. It was a good thing. Like I said, I hope y'all check it out. It was, very positive. We was talking about, things about, little men issues and, relationship with women and stuff like that. So it was, pretty good. Check it out. We did our thing. You know, like I said, have every show, nothing changed. Give a shout out to my lovely wife, Sandra Hill. She's the reason why I'm doing this. She's giving me feedback on everything. She liked our little podcast, so that's as long as I get that feedback first. That's my initial feedback. Then if she's like it, then we go from there. So you know, forgive me, it's a little hot up there where I'm at. It's like 105 out here. It's a little sweating, so forgive me, see me wiping my face off. Those who know, but they know how I sweat, so it's just no big deal. You know, you gotta put in that work. Sometimes you gotta sweat. It's okay. It's okay. It is perfectly okay. Now I hope y'all, been taking care of yourself. Hoping everything been going good for you. Hoping like I said, I always say one step close to your goal, one step closer to your dreams or whatever you're trying to accomplish in the long term or the short term. I hope you one step closer to it. I'm saying, me, we're trying to just, work, just enjoy, family and just, like I said, just work, just that daily grind, just every day. Just, we do it every day. Everybody out there know what it is, man. You got to get out here and do it. No matter how bad it is out here. And it's getting tough out here. Gas don't went back up, you know, what's going on overseas, all this instability, all this, chaos and stuff is it can be, it could be depressing. I mean, if you sit and think about it and let it, overwhelm you, it can be depressing. You could, be overwhelmed how stupid all the stupidest stuff is and get caught up on the day-to-day shenanigans of an incompetent administration, and you can do that, but your life gonna go away. Next thing he's finally gone in 4 years. You be like, what have I done in my life in 4 years? Nothing. Sitting here and worry about what they doing. So don't worry. Just go home, go live your life. Go ahead and try to worry about these groceries, this gas, you know, things that they don't have to worry about. Get some, worry about make sure your family is healthy, making sure that your family's secure. Just worry about that. Don't worry about what's going on. This craziness is going on, up here in Washington because it's just really you can't do nothing about it right now. You can't vote and hope vote in November, and hopefully Trump don't do anything to make these elections crazy. Because the last time that he was in charge of elections, it was in 2020, and that's the same election that he crying about, same election that he oversaw. He was the president of, and those are the elections that he crying about, the one that he's lost, the one that he oversaw. Yeah, so and that's a fact. So I don't want to get in all that politics right now, but that's a fact. So he the one that's crying over his own mess. You see what I'm saying? He's trying to, like I say, trying to do the okey doke. Get your eyes over here worrying about this while he's doing this over here. That's all. So I said, no, you can't worry about it right now. You got to worry about your own life, worry about your day to day life, what you got going on, how you make it from day to day with your significant other, how y'all deal with your family, if you got kids, how you deal with that. It's all about that, man. It's not worrying about what these people up here doing right here. They don't, for real. What I'm saying? It's interesting. Like, I was, because we recorded it earlier, and I never heard it until Sunday come out, and it was very interesting. I remember like the stuff we were talking about, and and I still, and it's everything is the same the way I feel, and I've talked to people who listen to it and stuff, and I ask them how they feel about it, getting feedback, because that's how I want to get better at this. I always ask people, family, friends, whoever, my wife asks, ask them like, what do you think? Do you be honest with me? No main thing I asked, I said, what, do I say anything that's wrong? That's big to me because I don't want to say anything that's misinformed. I might give you my opinion, but I don't want to say anything that's wrong. I don't want to misrepresent anyone. Don't want to misrepresent myself. Want to make sure that when I say something, make sure that that speak to the best of my knowledge. And if factually incorrect about something, I don't mind being told I'm wrong. But if you tell me I'm wrong, you got to let me know what I was wrong about and correct it. They say you wrong, you don't give me no kind of evidence, or don't give me no kind of you know counter to it. Just say you wrong because you in your feelings. That ain't going. Nah, we don't go down like that. You know, you got to show me some facts. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed like I said, enjoyed the back and forth. Like I said, with some of the men's issues that we were talking about, and you know, and there's times like certain things I talk about up here, like our health. Look, talking about our health, how we need to take care. As men, just for a second. I'm sorry, women. Sorry, ladies. Talk about for men, man, how we need to take better care of our health, man. We need to, start watching what we put in our bodies, man. We don't have to consume so much stuff, man. We don't have to consume so much like red meat, so much beer, so much stuff that we have been conditioned to think that's what men do all the time, man. And that's not true, man. We can take care of ourselves and think about, living a better quality life, man. You want to be able to enjoy your kids and your grandkids into your later years, man. You don't want to be sitting there and you can't enjoy your grandkids because you damn broke down because you've been eating sugar and salt and whatever for all your life, and your damn fucking bones are brittle, or your damn feet messed up. You got gout. Your damn toes, damn giving you the West Side Connection symbol and stuff like that, man. Your damn arthritis and everything, man. All because of what you do when you're younger, man. So we just gotta, especially the young ones. I want to talk. Especially the young ones, man. Just try to guide them on the right path and let them know, man. You don't have to eat all that stuff. You don't have to consume all of that stuff all the time, man. There's a better way to do stuff. You know, want to be around here for a long time. And then when you are around here a long time, you want to live a good quality life. You want to be able to get around and do stuff, get around and work. You can't work if you hurting. I mean, you can work if you hurting, but if you injured, if you got chronic diseases, illnesses, chronic pain and stuff like that, that's some of those things are things that keep prevented at a younger age. So when you're young, just try to take care of yourself. Try to do the best you can. I know there's a lot of stuff out there to eat. There's a lot of choices out there. You know, and that's one of the problems I always felt like since I was younger. Always felt like that's one of the problems with this country, man. We got too much food over here. You know, we're the only country we're the only country. I think we're one of the only countries in this damn world that has a damn obesity epidemic. Or people are getting sick from eating. Now, you eat too much and it's killing you and stuff like those and stuff. And we sit up and try to, you know, make people feel good about it and make people, don't, speak around them. Meanwhile, people sit here and, damage themselves and kill themselves slowly. That slow death, bite by bite, you know. It ain't just the people that's doing it, man. It's us to say, us, all of us. All of us could be guilty of it, man. You sit here and watch people that shouldn't be consuming stuff, and you watch them consume it without saying nothing to them, man. And then when things go bad, we are very remorseful, very. We have a lot of sorrow. We'll be like, I wish I would have did this, and I wish I would have did that, and really that's no good now because wishing you could have, when you can do it, that's when you need to do it. You can't be concerned.